Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com, opening day of the Keeneland Spring Meet. I'm Tom Leach, along with Keeneland's Director of Simulcasting, Jim Goodman. And every day of the Spring Meet, we will do a podcast on the feature race plus the late pick four. And Saturday's card, the big Ashland Bluegrass combo card, we will preview all 5 of the graded stakes races and the all-stakes pick four on that Saturday card. But right now we're talking about Friday, and the feature, Jim, is the Transylvania for 3-year-olds on the turf. Nice group lined up for this one at 1 mile and a 16th. Who'd you go with?
Yeah, it's a nice group. One of the things we got to talk about, though, is the weather for Friday. It's look, the last time I looked, it's 90% chance of rain, so we need to handicap this in a couple of ways. I'm going to hope it stays on the turf. It's a great race with 13 well-matched 3-year-olds. So let's handicap it for the turf, but have in mind that if it goes off, let's have something in our back pocket. I really like a couple horses coming out of the Palm Beach here. Ecampari, the 3, and Debisadero, the 8. They both exit that grade 3 that got put off from that flood in southern Florida and then was run the first weekend in March. And El Campari won that race, but Debisadero in its second race, he was 6 wide throughout and is a great effort, first time versus winners. And Buff Bradley would love to win the opening stakes here. So I'm gonna take Debisadero maybe a little bit of a price here, the 8 horse on top of that Campari, the 3. I'm also going to use a lot, the 4 with Belmont and Johnny V, improved on stretch out last time out. Night Prowler, you got to use Chad Brown and Castellano. Also had a little trouble in that Palm Beach race as the favorite. And Luck of the Kitten is probably going to be the favorite. Ramsey and Smith and Wesley Ward. I'm going to guess that he's going to need a race. He hadn't been out since Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, where he only got beat 3/4 lengths to Hootenanny. I'm going to guess he needs a race, and I'm going to try to take a little bit of stand against him. It wouldn't surprise me if he won, though. So Debisadero, Ecampari are my top choices. If it goes off the turf, I looked for dirt form here, and probably the best I found was Magic of Believing, who won a couple races at Oaklawn on the dirt. Has come back and run on the poly in the Spiral Stakes. Didn't do very well against Dubai Sky at 40-1, but Magic of Believing would have a shot, I think, if it got taken off the turf. Ecampari and Debisadero are my top choices.
I'm going to take Luck of the Kitten. I like the fact that Mike Smith's riding, and I like that race at Breeders' Cup. And I think this one can handle it even if they would come off the turf. But I like Luck of the Kitten. Not wild about the 10 post, but I think it's manageable with enough of a run to the first turn. And Smith's very good at reading the race and putting this one in a good spot. So Luck of the Kitten's the one for me. I like Debisadero. I thought to win first time out, Buff Bradley's not known for doing that, so that was very impressive. Night Prowler I'm going to use, and also a lot for Bill Mott to rhyme it. But so 10 with 4, 8, 9 for me, and then flip them the other way. And then I would use all 4 of those in the late pick 4, which we can segue into. Starts in the 7th race. Give a slight edge to Boone Station in there with Rosario riding and working well. But I would also use the 9 and the 1. Next race, the 8th. Nice group here. I like Catholic Cowboy for a little bit of a price. They gelded this horse after the run at Keeneland last year, and he was much improved, and then he drops out of the tougher company from his last race. So I'm going to use him and Rapscallion, a horse that's always run well at Keeneland. Now, he's got to do it on the dirt, but he seems to really thrive when he gets into the state of Kentucky. So I'll use 7-9-1 with 4-5. I'm going to use all 4 of the ones I mentioned in the Transylvania, and then in the last race, I'm going to use the 9 Otagagi, the 5 Moonlight Meteor, and the 6 Chucky Turn. So 9-5-6. 7-9-1 with 4-5, with 4-8-9-10, with 5-6-9. My late pick 4. How about you?
Well, we've got some common picks here, but in the first leg, I would go 4 deep with the 2-4-7-9. I think the first-time starters, Greek Week for Margolis, the 2 horse Wild and Unbridled, the 4 for Tevis McCauley, and the 7 Boone Station you mentioned from McLaughlin and Rosario, all seem to be contenders based on their works. But how about him, the 9? First start was pretty respectable, and the race on February 21st has yielded a couple of winners. So Jones is 30% second start for a maiden. So how about him would be my top choice. So I go 2-4-7-9. In the second race, I would use the 3 Cougar Ridge as my top choice. They're putting this horse in for $80,000. That's the only way they could get in. It's a 7-time winner running against horses that have won 3 and 4 times. So I think you need to look at Cougar Ridge. I like Catholic Cowboy, the gelded horse for Nick Zito, and I also like Rapscallion, the 5, who's 2 for 3 at Keeneland and really moves up if it's a sloppy track, I think. So Rapscallion might be a key there if the track comes up sloppy. In the feature race, I would use the horses in the Transylvania that I mentioned, the 3, 4, 8, 9, 10. That's Ecampari, A Lot, the Visadero, Night Prowler, and Luck of the Kitten. And finish it up with 2 horses in the nightcap. Moonlit Meteor is my top choice, and the 5 horse and the 7 are All-Star Bell. So if I could talk, I could say All-Star Bell, the 7. 2, 4, 7, 9 with 3, 4, 5, with 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 with 5, 7. Maybe that'll get you a little bit of money to go into Toyota Bluegrass Day on Saturday.
All right, that's how we see it for opening day at Keeneland. Remember, another podcast on the 5 stakes races on the Keeneland card for Saturday, and then we'll do a third podcast for the stakes races at Wood Memorial Day in New York and Santa Anita Derby Day in California. So listen for all that here at KeenelandSelect.com.